For decades, Israel has punched far above its weight, projecting itself as a regional power. But let's get real. That was only possible because it had behind it the world's only superpower, the United States. U.S. law requires that the U.S. preserve Israel's qualitative military edge. So the Arab states paid billions for weapons packages inferior to what Israel got at U.S. taxpayer expense. Using the excuse of WMDs that never existed, Iraq was destroyed and Iran sanctioned into poverty at the behest of Israel, which is the only country in the region that has actually developed WMDs. From the Balfour Declaration until today, the British Empire and then its American replacement have kept their thumb on the scale for the West's last colonial project. But Israel's bubble is about to burst because the unipolar world that enabled it is rapidly disappearing. China is now equaling and surpassing the U.S. in technology, manufacturing, and defense. China today can outproduce the United States in weapons by wide margins, not only in volume, but in cost and effectiveness. Pakistan was the first to pivot, sourcing most of its primary weapons from Beijing. Egypt is following with air defense systems and fighter jets. Iran, long tied to Russia, is increasingly bringing China into the mix. Beijing is now Saudi Arabia's top customer and a crucial partner for Iran and the Arab states. The infrastructure once built by American firms is now delivered by Chinese contractors. Even Saudi Arabia's first cloud data center wasn't AWS, Google, or Microsoft. It was Alibaba, a Chinese provider. Critics argue China still lacks a blue water navy to guarantee Gulf oil flows, but the U.S. Navy couldn't stop the Houthis from shutting down Red Sea shipping lanes. Israel's attack on Doha will prove to be the final nail in the coffin of American influence in the Gulf. It revealed that the security blanket they paid billions for gets switched off whenever Israel decides to attack. Netanyahu kneecapped Washington's ability to maintain its dominance and control in the Middle East, which was critical to Israel's ability to act with impunity. Add to that Israel's insane quest for a greater Israel that would include the territory of Arab states, and you have a threat that can't be ignored. At the Emergency Arab Islamic Summit in Doha, leaders floated the idea of an Islamic NATO. There was a lot of heated rhetoric, but in the past that would have been followed by a return to business as usual. But this time was different. Within 48 hours, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was in Pakistan, the world's only nuclear-armed Islamic state. The two nations announced a mutual defense pact that caught Washington completely off guard, and the Saudis are now in talks with the Iranians. MBS has decided it's better to lead this movement than to get crushed beneath it. Turkey and Egypt are staging their first joint naval and air drills in 13 years, signaling a thaw after a decade of hostility. The Unified Islamic Defense Alliance is coming together before our eyes. A China-backed Islamic bloc would have an order of magnitude advantage over Israel in the battlefield technologies that matter most today: drones, missiles, and artillery. Just as importantly, China can replenish stocks far faster than the United States could without massive mobilization and political fallout. China calls Pakistan its iron brother. That tie will weld Beijing to a defense bloc stretching from the Pakistani-Chinese border to Jerusalem. Meanwhile, the Gaza genocide is stoking an unprecedented fury in the Arab street. A call for volunteers to defend Gaza would draw 1 million fighters on day one. The irony? This sudden surge of unity, Arabs, Iranians, Turks, and Pakistanis, all under one banner, is something no analyst predicted. And it would never have happened without Netanyahu. But can't Israel activate the Samson option and drop a nuke? With Pakistan, China, Russia, and North Korea's nuclear arsenals backing up this alliance, Israel's nukes don't guarantee security, only mutual destruction. But won't the Americans come to the rescue? According to a Gallup poll, only 32% of Americans support Israel's actions in Gaza. Putting U.S. boots on the ground in an Israeli war would be political suicide. AIPAC isn't paying enough to get American politicians to fall on their swords for Bibi. Arrogance and hubris are blinding Israel to a new reality where its actions can now have fatal consequences. Netanyahu and his gang of genocidal fanatics have put Israel on the path to its destruction. The next war Netanyahu starts will be Israel's last. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you would like to see more content like this.